What's up, players? I am here to deliver a public service announcement regarding the status of the Gibson Custom Shop Firebird 2K giveaway from Play and Trade Guitars. Last Sunday, May the 17th, 3 winners were chosen at random to receive the Gibson Custom Shop Firebird electric giveaway guitar during a live YouTube video. All 3 winners had well over 24 hours to claim the incredible custom shop instrument. However, amazingly, all 3 winners failed to watch the announcement and redeem the grand prize of a Gibson Custom Shop electric guitar. My friends, I am here today to inform you that the Firebird 2K giveaway is very much alive and well. This Sunday, Play and Trade Guitars will be going live again on YouTube at 1 o'clock PM Central Standard Time and picking 10 winners randomly to receive the 1990 Gibson Custom Shop Firebird from their list of subscribers on YouTube. Winners will have 60 seconds each, in order of selection, to make a comment during the live video to claim their new guitar. Yes, you must be present to win. So, set a reminder on your cellular telephone for Sunday, May the 24th at 1 o'clock PM Central Standard Time. You will not want to miss out. Have a spectacular weekend and enjoy this episode of Off the Bench. Be well, and rock the on.
Alright, Play and Trade Guitars. This is John, and I'm here with an off-the-bench look at this amazing Harmony H78. We're going to walk through the features. I'm going to give you playing demos ranging from the unplugged, clean sound of this guitar through the Mesa Clean channel, all the way on up through some crunch and some dirt. So I'm going to give you a look first at the features of this guitar. Alright, so we got a hollow body guitar with 3 humbucker pickups on it, and each of these humbucker pickups have their own on-off switch here on the right horn. So this is going to be on and off for each of these pickups, and then each of the pickups down here on the butt of the guitar have their own tone and volume knobs. You got a nice classic Bigsby attached to a floating wood bridge. Beautiful feature. A rosewood fingerboard with rectangular inlays moving up to square inlays, and a nice aged cream white binding. I'd call this a 2-tone kind of flamed red crimson burst with a nice tortoiseshell pickguard, which matches also the pickup on-off switch control plate. And then moving on up from these beautiful inlays, we have the headstock Harmony by Heath. A couple of classic, looks like nickel tuning machines. Maybe not, maybe just some stamped pot metal. Classic style vintage tuning machines on the back of the headstock. Not much of an ornamentation in terms of the cutout, just a smooth kind of wave on there. A bolt-on neck, kind of unusual for this style of guitar, but it's a hollow body guitar with a bolt-on neck. And a beautiful burst red crimson finish on the back here. Excellent shape for being as old as this guitar is. I love the F-holes. Not a full F, there's some of the top, some of the arched top still left for their own take on this classic F-hole look. Kind of a teardrop on either side, which looks really sharp. All original pickups, all original electronics on this guitar. It was bought decades and decades ago and really just pretty much left in the case and not played much. This is a guitar that we're going to feature on a new segment called On Consignment. So we had somebody reach out who was a current subscriber and a fan of what we're doing, and they said, hey, I've got this cool Harmony H78 hollow body guitar. It's old, it's vintage, it's pretty funky. I picked it up from someone who just didn't play it over all these decades, and I think you guys should take a look at it. And even better, we came to learn that this is the guitar that Dan Auerbach from the Black Keys favors and plays. Zach was the proud owner of the tape machine that was used to record, which one was it, Zach?
Attack and Release.
Zach was the proud owner of the reel-to-reel tape machine that was used to record Attack and Release, which is pretty awesome. Fun little play and trade trivia there. Yeah, so we're talking Black Keys, we're talking Harmony, we're talking cool, funky, vintage, catalog style guitars. You saw in Craigslist 6, we bought in the Silvertone set. And I got to talking to this subscriber, and they had this awesome 60s Harmony along the same production lines, similar style kind of vibe with the funky switches, all the original controls and pickups, and just trying a lot of things. The 60s was a time of experimentation for sure, and in guitar building and electric guitar building for sure. We've pretty much settled on, if you're going to put humbuckers on a guitar, you generally are used to seeing 2 humbuckers, sometimes even only 1. But I think it made sense to consider 3 humbuckers, and I know there's still plenty of guitars that consider or that use the 3 humbucker design. But I think a lot of that comes from the fact that electric guitar playing evolves out of Spanish-style guitar playing. And if you look at the first electric guitar models that have ES in them, ES stands for Electric Spanish. And there were 2 options before the electric guitar became somewhat more standardized as we know it today. There was, in the 1920s and 30s, playing a guitar like this, lap steel, Hawaiian style, or there was playing a guitar like this, which would be your Spanish style. And in the electric guitar world, we've really come to favor the Spanish style of playing. There's still plenty of great lap steel players and lap players. But a lot of what I think became the experimentation in electric guitar design with regard to pickups comes from a lot of the theory and practice of playing acoustic instruments. So in electric style playing, there's even dynamic markings and there's markings in the music to tell you to play closer to the bridge because you get a brighter sound. If you play in the middle, you get kind of that, what we'll call that normal rounded tone. And then sweet, which is closer to the fingerboard. Darker, sweeter. If you really want to get dark and hollow, which I think is a cool sound. But I think the point is, I think when they were experimenting with where to put pickups, a lot of it came from the experience of hundreds of years, or at least decades of experience of playing a guitar like this, with your left hand on the board and your right hand sounding notes and chords. And I think it only made sense that since acoustic players were looking at guitars and already knew the tonal advantages and the tonal palette available to you by simply strumming in a different place on the guitar, I'm sure electric guitar players and electric guitar builders figured, well, why don't we put a pickup in each of those spots? If we turn on the bridge, we're going to get the brightest. And again, nothing's turned on yet. I'm just showing you that if I strum near the bridge, we get very bright. If I strum in the middle, we get well-rounded full tone. And towards the fingerboard, we're going to get a sweeter, mellower, darker sound. Hollower tone as you go up the fingerboard. But I think that's why they experimented with 3 pickups. I don't think it was just to be out there and crazy with putting as many switches and pickups as you could on a guitar. I think there was a reason for it. I think we look back on some of these and figure maybe they went a little crazy, but that was a time to try things, and it's only in hindsight that we consider certain guitar building techniques a little bit more standardized today. But looking back in hindsight, I think about my experience of playing classical guitar and I think, oh yeah, it makes total sense to put 3 pickups on a guitar. Because even as notated in fingerstyle music, there's 3 different approaches to where you put your hand to sound the notes, and you get 3 different tones. So they really went for it. They put 3 humbucking pickups on this guitar, and they gave you 3 kill switches for each of them. So you can get really crazy and turn all of them on at the same time if you really want to. You can turn combinations of them on and off, or you can feature just one at a time. So the first thing I'm going to do before I turn any of them on is just give you a little demo of what this guitar sounds like totally unplugged. Sorry, it's because I'm bumping that. See, so funny construction flaw here is you got to be careful. If you're not intending to use this bridge pickup, I've already now twice in the course of trying to play the guitar and strum my hand, I've bumped into it. And so there's a design flaw in this guitar. You better be careful if you're strumming that you're not bumping these on-off switches. So we're finding that out real quick. I'll give you just a few little short samples of playing the guitar completely unplugged, just to give you a sound of this nice resonant full-bodied guitar with some nice overtones on it. So you can see just a lot of sound produced by this instrument with that before you ever plug it in. I think it's a fantastic sounding guitar. Really fun to play even unplugged. I mean, this would be one of those guitars that kicks out enough sound acoustically with its hollow body arched top here. You could leave this around the house and practice and play unplugged, which is always one of my go-to grab guitars. I have something similar, not this exact kind. But the same premise, that if you get a good projecting thin line hollow body guitar that kicks out a lot of sound, well, you can practice without an amplifier and keep your family and your friends and your neighbors happy. This one does that. It kicks out a lot of awesome tone. So great sounding instrument. Now we can proceed to a clean channel on the amp and start to see what it sounds like through the clean channel of my Mesa. I have absolutely no effects other than just pretty much everything at noon in terms of the treble and the middle. I've got the bass rolled off just a hair. I've got a touch of reverb, but not much. And then I've got my master and gain at about maybe setting between 2 and 3. So not terribly loud. Let's flick on each one of these pickups now and see what we're working with. Let's start with the brightest. We're going to focus on the bridge pickup by turning on and engaging the on switch. I've got tone and volume all the way up for everything right now. And let's just start to see what that sounds like. So there's that bright bridge. Well, I'm going to turn that off. We're back to dead. I'm going to turn on the neck position. Same thing, back to the bridge. Now let's check out the middle. Now let's look at combinations now. So if we put on, for instance, the bridge pickup and the neck pickup, let's check it out. So we're getting maybe a little bit of cancellation. I feel like there's less output, but it's kind of a funky, cool sound with this kind of wide angle approach to having the bridge and the neck on at the same time. Well, how about we try the bridge and the middle on, both engaged? Let's get crazy and try everything on. Here's all 3 pickups on, volume up, tone all the way up on everything. cool. I actually think that my favorite sounds are when you use the combinations. I think when you have either the bridge and the neck on at the same time, or heck, I mean, flip everything on. I think it's actually pretty cool. Nice fast neck. The action is nice and low on this guitar. I can really get around quick. That's again everything engaged. So turning it back off, I'll start to kick on some drive through this nice resonant guitar with beautiful expression of tone. I mean, Zach said it best earlier. We had it unplugged, and he said you can just really hear the overtones. It feels like the whole top wants to shake off at you. And it's a really impressive guitar. It's well built. The craftsmanship is all there. The binding is beautiful. The frets are polished and shaped perfectly here, filed off into the binding perfectly, in my opinion. And just a great sounding guitar. I'm really happy with how this sounds. So these were meant as catalog guitars. These were not high-end expensive guitars necessarily, although maybe this was a higher end take on what Harmony was doing. Harmony by Heath, because this is very well made. It's got a truss rod. It's got an easily accessible and easily playable neck. It's a larger feeling neck. I'll take a nut measurement. It doesn't feel like a baseball bat, but it is nice and thick. It gives you a good grip. The frets themselves are pretty small. Vintage wire on there. And there's not that pronounced of a hump. For this old of a guitar, I actually find that the fretboard, the radius is not too short. It's a pretty flat fretboard. So you can get around on it, I mean, fairly quick without really any trouble at all. All right, let's kick on some drive and do some actual lead playing. Put on standby for a second. I'm having fun with this though. This is one of those that's already inspired me to just kind of want to sit here and play. I don't know, I don't know anything about spaghetti western, the genre, but whenever I pick up a guitar with a Bigsby that's old like this, I just love to do that. So I'll go ahead and flip on my Mesa Boogie F50 to the crunch, and I'm not going to get crazy with the crunch. The crunch is here down at like maybe 2. And then everything else I've got at noon. The bass I've rolled off just a bit, and the treble. What's the one we used to play? Little Black Submarines, how did that go? Oh, here you go. Lesson number 1 about owning a hollow body is you're going to deal with feedback. The same kind of deal, starting to get real rockin' now. If we can control that, again, this guitar, my amp master volume is only on 2 or 3, and this thing already wants to squeal, and that's because it's a hollow body, there's no center block. So it's gonna want to squeal, but it's kind of cool. You can use that maybe to effect. Everything in this house wants to resonate with this guitar. The whole house is shaking. My amp's not even that loud. Cool, man. Here's the middle, just the middle pickup on. The middle one is to me actually the most useless, which is funny that they settled on generally nowadays building guitars without the middle pickup. This one to me just sounds somewhat muddy and not very well defined. So if I was gonna build this guitar, I would choose to just build it with the bridge and the neck, and I think you'd be just fine. But let's try just a few more experiments here while we got the crunch on. Let's kick on the bridge pickup and let's pick on the neck pickup and see what that sounded like. Here's everything on. Let's keep the crunch on. Let's keep everything on, but let's roll the volumes down. Oh, that's our tone. Here's the tone all the way down. Pretty muffled there. Kind of a cool effect, but probably not very practical. Tones are back up. And in this case, I've got the volumes all the way down. I'm going to split the difference. Everything's on. Crunch is still rocking and rolling, but I'm going to just take my volume knobs and put them at about halfway on everything and see how we can contain this beast. That's pretty cool. Let's start backing off pickups now and stick with our idea of having just half the volume on. I'm going to take out that muddy middle one. Now you're hearing both the bridge and the neck. Now that's some rock and roll tone. That's cool. And if you wanted to then, you could roll up the volumes. Here's the difference. How you're practically ever going to be going back and forth and trying to dial these little tiny knobs halfway while you're in the middle of playing. But I guess if you had a little bit of forethought or thought about the part you're wanting to play, it does actually get pretty cool to push the amp and bring the volume halfway down when both pickups are engaged here, bridge and neck. That's cool. Again, volume rolled back. Here's just the bridge. Here's just the neck. Now that's a rock and roll machine. This has actually been a real treat to play this guitar. This is on consignment. This is from a subscriber. Somebody who liked what we're doing and said, hey, I've got this cool Harmony from the 60s. The thing looks like it really hasn't been played much, and I am glad to get it out of its case. It's got its original case, and the thing is out and about now, hitting the town and making a whole lot of sounds. It's rattling the whole house. I don't even have my amp cranked, and that's just one of the beauties, is if you can control the chaos of having a hollow body guitar that's going to want to squawk and squeak at you, you can push it, and you got to be aware that it's going to want to squawk and feed back at you. But if you want to use that as a tool for making some cool rock noise, you can do it. Probably the best method to control that is just to roll your volumes off a bit on the pickups for a nice chunky rock rhythm tone. And if you want to go balls to the wall, pedal to the floor, turn everything up, turn everything on, and yeah, this rock machine will do it. But thanks for taking a look. This has been a new segment called On Consignment, featuring a guitar of a subscriber, this wonderful Harmony by Heath, 1960s H78, which has just been fantastic to get my hands on. So I hope you enjoyed this demo as much as I've enjoyed playing it. I'm gonna end this video and keep on playing, but please do remember, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this video. And would you be rocking this Harmony H78? One of the coolest guitars I've seen come through, and I'm glad. Thank you to our subscriber who shared it. Shout out to Ian. This is his baby. He says he's entertaining offers, so On Consignment means what it sounds like. If you're interested in buying this guitar, shoot us an offer, and we'll get all the information onto Ian, who is our wonderful and faithful subscriber, and who is excited enough to share this incredible Harmony guitar with us. So thank you so much to him for doing that. Make sure you check out our Reverb store. I've had a few questions from people that say, where do we get your guitars? Everything that we feature on this channel will be for sale. Even the consignment pieces we can negotiate on behalf of someone who's sharing their awesome instrument with us. But in the meantime, follow us on Reverb and get ready for that live announcement. We can't wait. We're going to be making that announcement soon and going live on YouTube. So take our PSA steps, make sure you're ready for the giveaway, and get ready for more great content coming your way. Thanks for being part of the Play and Trade Guitar community. You guys are awesome. On behalf of Zach and myself, John from Play and Trade Guitars, thanks for watching and see you next time. Take care.